Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to our review of Rebel Moon. Joining me is Santa Claus.
Hi, hi, hi. Merry Christmas, my friends.
Okay, so Rebel Moon. What is Rebel Moon? Rebel Moon is the next chapter in the long history of Zack Snyder's films, I suppose you can call them. Now, initially, this was meant to be. So, fun fact: this was what Zack Snyder wanted to do. He wanted to do Star Wars, and he wanted to do an R-rated Star Wars, and parts of the blueprint in this film are derived from Star Wars because that's what he wanted to do, and Lucasfilm were like, no. And so Netflix were like, yeah. So he went to Netflix and made his version of Star Wars. And it's in two parts. So we've got Rebel One, Child of Fire, I think it was called. And let's just say, fuck it. Let's just go to Xanta. Xanta, what did you think of the film?
Now, you have to understand, I went into this movie thinking it's going to be the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen in my entire life. The critic score is not very good, and even the audience score is is above average at 71%, I believe, which is close to being between 66 and 75%. So it's in between, say, one in three, one in four people not liking it. I actually thought it was okay, to tell you the truth. I wanted to hate this, and I ended up thinking, okay, I've seen all of these scenes before. It's very familiar what I'm seeing. What this definitely is, and I'm going to say this right now before I forget, it is the Magnificent Seven in fucking space. You know, it it really
Thank
is.
you. Yeah.
It is the Magnificent Seven in space. Like everything about this, I thinking I was getting Magnificent Seven vibes. And if you watch the post credit scenes, we are talking spoilers here, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, we're going into deep spoilers here. So just join us for the ride.
And if you watch, yeah, so
Uh,
if you watch this, you saw
yeah.
the post credits thing as well with the what is happening in the next movie.
Is that what happened to
Scargiver, Scargiver,
the
the
main?
second film, the
I
second
did.
film. Because
I didn't.
if you go after the credits, there's a Netflix gives you a snippet of Scargiver, which is part two.
Oh, right.
And
Oh, I
my
haven't seen it.
God,
I think if you go into it,
it's so fucking Magnificent Seven with them training the fucking villagers how to fight and shit like that. And oh my God, because here we are, we're getting a bunch of badasses to help a bunch of people who are being fucked over by a powerful force that they can't do can't go against. And just like in the Magnificent Seven, the bad guys are taking all their food and grain and shit like that. Like Jesus Christ. Now, obviously, they did a little twist here and there by making Charlie Hunnam's character the bad egg of the fucking group. But nevertheless, Magnificent Six now still it's textbook with the recruiting process of her looking for people who are willing to fucking sacrifice their lives for a bunch of fuckers they don't know. But this, yeah, this is pretty much it. Visually, I thought it looked great. Some of the action scenes were pretty cool. Um, the acting could have been better, but at the same time, it could have been so much worse. They had some decent actors in there just to levitate it. I'm not sure how I felt about Anthony Hopkins playing Chappie, but
Oh, that was
nevertheless,
Anthony Hopkins. I didn't
yeah.
fucking know.
But
That's
I
how
wanted more
Anthony
of
Hopkins.
they bring in this robot, they cook teasers with it, and then they don't even fucking bring him on the ride. They keep him at home. But yeah, I guess I can't help but thinking to myself that even though I wanted to dislike this movie because I genuinely went in here thinking I'm watching a big pile of shit, I didn't find it too bad.
Okay, well, here, what I will say about this film is fuck off, Zack Snyder. Just fuck off. Okay, this film. Now, I'm with you in that it's not a bad film, but Jesus effing Christ, if you're gonna rip off, by the way, when I saw it, the first thing that came to my mind the minute they start going on to other planets, I just started straight away, and with the grains and that, I was like Seven Samurai. This is
Yeah, exactly.
Kurosawa. Okay, this is a tribute, which was Star Wars was a tribute to Kurosawa anyway,
Yeah,
and
and
Magnificent
Dune and
Seven,
all of that. It's Dune vibes and all of that. Yeah,
all
so
of that, all of it.
yeah.
It's such. The film is so derivative, which, by the way, that's fine. Like, I've got no issue with films deriving from other films. Like, that's Hollywood in a nutshell. They're always going to do it. They're always going to play it safe. And sometimes you can take an idea, rip it off completely, and make it better. Orville comes to mind. Orville is just a blatant rip-off of Star Trek, but it did it better. It's what Star Trek should have been. So this film, it derives from other things, but it makes it worse. It makes it worse. Where to start? First and foremost, you're going around and you're building up this team. So, okay, big bad empire, Nazis in space, all this kind of stuff. This time with the uniform, there's just no subtlety whatsoever. Okay, well, there's no subtlety in this film at all. But everything is just to get to a point, and move on. When she's recruiting, at no point is there any real chemistry with these characters. They're not spending time. There's no camaraderie. It's just get to the next person, get to the next person. Sleepy dialogue, get to the next person. Big pointless CGI fight, lots of slow motion, get to the next person. Digimon Hansu's character, the general guy. Like,
they got to him so late,
You got to him so late. You're making him all emotional, this kind of shit. We're not there for the ride. At this point, I'm just like, just fucking get on with it. You get the fucking slave bloke who, for some reason, flies a griffin. I don't know what was the point of that.
That was John Carter. That was the John Carter ripoff.
That was John Carter from Mars moment. Thank you. That was it. John Carter from Mars moment.
With a Harry Potter bit mixing
with the Harry Potter vibe.
with the Pegasus or what the fuck it's called,
Yeah, it's a slave guy. He owes somebody money. He's like, tame this beast for me, and you can go free. So he tames the beast. We get this whole pointless thing. I hope the ladies enjoy it and the gay men, because oily, hunky dude, topless.
And that to make him so Native American like, isn't it? It's like
yeah,
they had to advocate that he's like a Native American in space, because that's the only way you can portray a Native fucking American. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You have to stereotype the Native American, of course. Yeah. And Digimon Hansu yet again in a gladiator film.
Yeah, Gladiator as well. Yeah,
Gladiator. None of the gladiating. You know what I mean? And also you get your fucking Star Wars Episode 4 scoundrel in Charlie Huffman. It's like, go to a bar, got to get somebody to get shit to go somewhere else. And, all this, but the problem is there's no time spent there. There's no time cooking with it. You don't feel anything for the characters. Like when we get to Ray Fisher's character, who, like, the whole point of the film is because of these rebels. So these rebels that are on this fucking planet called, I can't even remember what planet they're on. Yeah, they're on a planet. And so when Sophia Buttinella's characters and all of that meet up with them, you're trying to think, they're going to talk about the pains and the horrors they've been through and all this kind of shit. But it's like, join us. And Ray Fisher's like, why? It's like, because this. Okay. And then they join. And then it's just like, then they go to another fucking planet to drop some stuff off, and oh my god, Charlie Huffman betrays them. Never saw that fucking coming. I didn't actually, but I don't really care at this point. And you get the big fight at the end, which was just fucking stupid laser fest. Nobody can hit. They're worse. I mean, he paid a great tribute to the Stormtroopers by nobody being able to hit a fucking target. And back at the bar scene when they recruit Charlie Huffman, we've got laser-proof tables. When they flip the table. All right? My fucking god! And I know I'm going to jump back and forward a bit, but I just wanted to get to the bit where about Ray Fisher's character. So when Ray Fisher's character you know, there's a ship that's just shooting down all these other ships, and he's like, I know what I'll do. This scaffolding is perfectly placed. So he picks up the spear, runs up, stabs through the glass because, you know, it's a space glass that you can easily pierce with a spear. It wouldn't be bulletproof or shatterproof because it, you know, just
He's
and
strong, man.
he
Strong man.
dies. Yeah,
Yeah.
he dies. Do I care that he died? Did you care that he died?
Well, he was hardly in the fucking film in the first place.
Exactly.
That was
Exactly.
Ray Fisher. I think it was, what the fuck? I didn't recognize him at all and all
That's
that
Ray
shit.
Fisher, Cyborg from
Yeah,
Justice League.
yeah, Cyborg. Yeah.
You know, after the shit he went through with Hamata, it was nice to see him in it. But
Well, I guess Snyder had his back, you know, but fuck me, put him in the role just to kill him off so quickly. Didn't
yeah,
have him back that much. Look, for me, the only thing I that really pissed me off was the endless amount of slow mos. My God, my God, like Snyder killed it. Like this is not 300, mate. And even with 300, you did this like like the scene with Gerard Butler when he like, takes on the army, and that was a magnificent scene done really well. And
yeah,
that's when you implemented the slow mo perfectly. You didn't add it in every scene possible. This guy couldn't wait every scene possible. I'm gonna walk into a room, slow mo. I'm gonna take a shit, slow mo. Like
I'm
fucking
gonna drop a
slow mo,
crane,
slow.
slow mo.
Yeah, yeah, it's like
Yeah,
slow mo
yeah.
every fucking time, man. And
It,
he overdid it and ruined some of the epic moments that maybe that slow mo could have added to when it needed to, but he did it everywhere. It's like ridiculous.
everywhere, everywhere. And then jumping back, we get another character that's a blatant ripper from a Doctor Who episode. That's this big spider woman. Quite literally, if you just Google Doctor Who spider, it's the same look, just a different color. So, you know, we've got Doctor Who in this, and then we recruit Asian chick who's clearly supposed to be the Jedi in this with her fucking lightsabers and all this. So we got fucking lightsabers in this as well. I know it's just glow up Thors that are hot and cutty, but we've got fucking lightsabers in this. And going back to the Anthony Hopkins character, this is the epitome of what pissed me off about this film. They spend like 2 minutes together, gives a little bit of a backstory, and then just fucks off. And then that's it. Apart from when he shoots his gun at some point. And then that's it. You don't see him for the whole film. I thought he would have gone with them.
Me
But
too.
no.
And like the arc, he had the mini, like it was so quick and like what? He just put a little fucking flowery clown on his head, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
he changes alliances just like that. You know, so it just what the hell, man? It's like
ridiculous.
some of these moments really didn't work for me. Like I said, you know, it's funny, but there's over 2 hours through this fucking movie, and yet some scenes seem really fucking rushed, which is ridiculous. We didn't need to.
Yeah. Listen, if we cut down the slow motion, it's a 10-minute film. All right, that's how bad the slow mo was. You know what I mean? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like we're going from one bit to another. He's trying to world build. He's trying to do this world building, but he lacks the creativity to build a world. If you want to build a world, then what you do is you focus on the bad guys tearing up, trying to find the other rebels, not Butinelli's character, because that's not who they're hunting for. They're meant to be hunting for the other rebels, and now they're hunting for her. It's like, well, that's just a spit in the ocean. The main rebels are, so that you well build through them as they tear through and they interrogate and all this kind of shit. But no, we don't get that. We get Butinelli just jumping from one place to another. We don't really get to know anything about anyone. And look, if it was like supposed to be a war film, let's say, for example, Rogue One. Rogue One is a war film where you don't really get to know the characters, and it doesn't matter because it's a war. They're there. You see what they're doing. It's get from A to B. But in this one, they're trying to make you build some kind of connection to these characters, but you're not. All the focus is on Sophia's character, and you hardly see the others. You never see them interact with each other. There's no camaraderie. There's no fun being had. There's no, or deep conversations being had. It's like, here's a bit of exposition. Here's the past, and here's a whole visual
Yeah.
of the.
Even
You know.
even with the main character, we get more about her part and what we're getting with her now. Like it, yeah, there's so much exposition at times, and even with the visualization, it still felt like you're telling me so fucking much, but I'm not seeing enough. And
Yeah.
it was yeah, it was poorly executed. It really was. You know, and some of the like it's just the cliches, like those soldiers all being bad boys, and one of them was a
Yeah.
good boy, but he doesn't even join the gang. Like
No, we don't see him again. I'm
yeah,
sure we'll see him in the second one, but
yeah,
you know, we
and
don't see him again. We don't see what's going on the planet, because like, if your soldiers have just been gunned down, surely the retaliation would be swift. A rebel, an empire wouldn't just sit there going, right, go find the people that do that. No, you do what you do what Israel does. It's collective punishment. So you just go and you bomb the shit out of the fucking planet, and you're just like, right, don't fucking do that again. And now you go and find
and then
the
we're going
thing.
to fucking leave our guys there and take over your fucking houses, which is what
Yeah,
they did with their soldiers.
we'll leave a handful of people there. No ship above overlooking everything to make sure things stay kosher. None of that shit. It's just, there you go. They're dead, and there's no swift retaliation. But that's not how an empire functions. An empire functions in the way that any kind of uprising is crushed immediately. Just look at British Empire 101. You know what I mean? Okay, but this one is, when they got back to the planet afterwards, at the end, the planet should have been devastated. It should have been devastated with just maybe a handful of survivors, and then you've got to build your team from that. It gives you that oh fuck moment at the end. You're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. They actually was swift retaliation. They brutalized the planet, kind of thing. But no, they go back and you've got this nice fucking samurai ending. Well, actually, this one was Magnificent Seven of them just riding off into the fucking sunset, and then Anthony Hopkins' robot appears at the end, and it's got antlers on it. What the fuck are the antlers?
I
What?
thought he was a scarecrow to scare away the
How did
fucking.
you?
I thought he was. Fucking hell, yeah. Hey, we got this
Yeah,
really sophisticated robot. Let's make him a fucking scarecrow. Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
What
For
fun
an
would you
empire,
just
they
say?
seem to have such a small focus on Star Wars. It made sense as the droids had the plans of the Death Star. Exactly. No, exactly, Gary. They had small focus. It's like, you, who are you going after? You drop one half and then you go to the other, and it's just like, and that's this film. This film is ADHD in a fucking nutshell. It's just like, it doesn't have the patience to just flesh out the characters. It's just, oh, I get to this bit, and that's what let this film down. And you can't sit there and go, oh well, the director's cut. No, you should get it right the first time, and the director's cut just adds more deliciousness, just like Lord of the Rings. Okay, if you
Exactly.
watch Lord of the Rings, the extended cuts, it's just even more deliciousness on top of perfection. It's like the icing on top of the icing of the cake. But with this, it's like, oh, we'll fix the fuck ups, and it all makes sense when we do the R-rated director's cut version of this. And it's just like, no, too late. Too little, too late. And you know, uh, the only surprise that I found in this film was Charlie Hoffman's character getting killed off. I thought he'd
Yeah.
reason his way out, survive, and maybe try to redeem himself. But they killed him off, which was good. That is the right thing to do. He betrayed you, you kill him.
And
You
not
don't
the
let him
bad guys
go.
got killed off. Like the soldiers, I thought they'd lost a fair bit before they got their comeuppance, but they killed very early on in the movie. I
Yeah,
didn't mind that too much, to tell you the truth.
I didn't
Okay,
mind that.
fine. We move on to move on from the motherfuckers. I felt a lot of the planets felt the same. They all had this sort of husky, sort of
Yeah,
musky, sucking.
monochrome.
like
fucking
so
Zack Snyder fans.
industrialness, like hey, quiet you, and like there's a sort of a sand dune type of vibe about it. Even the industrial planets or the non-industrial planets, they all felt the same, to a degree, but regarding the hue of it, yeah. But I'm just picking at straws here when it comes to these sort of things. Nevertheless, you know, it, Zack Snyder, like Jesus Christ, man, like it's amazing how many films he's made and how many of them are not that
Oh
great.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
incredible. It is really incredible how this man has managed to fail upwards because, and I keep telling you people, that is you people in Hollywood, Twitter is not real life. Just because a couple of Snyder bros are fucking creaming their knickers over this hack doesn't mean you should bend at their will and keep hiring this guy. Or oversee his stuff. Make sure it's cohesive. Make sure characters are fleshed out. For God's sake, how is it like he's gotten worse as he goes on? Some directors at least give you like the odd good one. Like even M. Night Shyamalan is absolute garbage. Just poked his head up with a couple of good ones along the way. But this guy, he's just getting progressively worse. At some point, you just have to say, okay, you're done. Goodbye. You have punched way above your weight since you did 300, and you don't fucking deserve the kind of respect that he gets. He doesn't. He's like Michael Bay, just absolute dog turd. You know what I mean? Just shallow garbage. And and yeah, there just has to be a nail in the coffin on his career, and the Rebel Moon films should be
Uh,
it. Like nobody should fucking hire
Army
him.
of the Dead for me should have been a fantastic zombie apocalypse movie where you're having it in Las Vegas for fuck's sake. What a great place for a zombie film. And all of that, and he fucked that up too. And
Have you seen Dawn of the Dead?
well, his version.
Yes,
No, no, I haven't.
it is brilliant. It is actually better than the original. Okay,
Is that the one with Ving Rhames?
the one with Ving Rhames. It's
Oh, I have
fantastic.
seen it. Set in a
Yeah,
shopping
it
center.
has
Yeah,
none of the
yeah.
Snyderisms in it. The pacing is fantastic. You feel for the character. It's just a brilliant film. And then he does 300, another brilliant film, phenomenal film. And then it's just downhill after that. I disagree with Gigi. I think Zach need a person he respects who will tell him no. No, Gary, listen, you can't fucking make 10 bad films in a row and then suddenly be like, now he needs somebody to
Yeah.
oversee. No, he needs
I'll
to
never,
go.
I'll never understand how people like Man of Steel. Honestly, I don't get it. Yeah, how can you have a film without any of the Superman mannerisms in it whatsoever? I think only one time he asked if a guy was okay in the whole fucking movie. There's a fucking 29/11s happening by the end of the film, and everything's hunky fucking dory. You know what I mean? When the
The
evil
whole city's
Kryptonians get
destroyed.
the whole fucking flattened and shit like that. I'm thinking, how can you have a happy ending? There's so many people. You think all those buildings were evacuated? No, there are so many innocent people in these buildings, and they're dead. And even the ones who evacuated probably had a building land on them. How the fuck can you have a happy? I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, this is the most miserable fucking Superman movie I've ever fucking seen. I have no problems with them changing the aesthetic of how people would see Superman in the modern day, but I don't think everybody would appreciate him like they would in the Christopher Reeve films. I totally get that. But still, like, I want to see him save a fucking cat from the tree, maybe save a person falling out of a building. Those are the things you recognize from Superman, but no, they went to this fucking melodrama bullshit. You know what I mean? I just so fucking bollocks Zack
It was
Snyder.
emo man.
Yeah. And when he
Uh,
finally tried to be a fucking hero, he fucking destroyed the whole city. Yeah, it's
yeah.
like Jesus
I
Christ,
like
man.
Man of Steel being Superman films where he's saving people rather than the Snyder or the Singer version where he did now. listen, I hate the Snyder version, the Brian Singer version. I hate that film. That's one of my like top worst superhero films.
Brian
It was
Singer?
so fucking boring. Yeah, it was so boring.
What
So
show is
boring.
that?
That's the one with Brandon Routh as
Oh yeah,
Superman.
yeah, of course, yeah,
And
that was
Kevin
shit as
Spacey as
well.
Lex Luthor. I
Brandon
hated that.
Routh was really good, but the film was
Yeah, he
really
was
shit.
great.
And what made that film the only good part of that film is when he saves that aeroplane from crashing and he brings it down on that baseball field. That's the best scene in the film. That's the most Superman thing he fucking does in that movie. And everything else is shit. Him having a son, him
Yeah,
fucking what's her name? Lois Lane looking like she just got out of fucking high school. What the fuck is this shit, man? Yeah,
yeah,
like just
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
I hate that fucking film so much.
Me too.
Man of Steel was better than that film. Like I didn't
I,
mind Man of Steel, but it was
they're,
stupid.
I don't put them on like I don't like either of them. They're both shit, as far as I'm concerned.
Fair enough. No, that's
There's
fair
no
enough.
leveling. Yeah, so
Fair enough. No, absolutely, that's fair enough. All right. Well, that's again, like I said, Zack Snyder just needs to go away now. He's done. He's just a byproduct of he hit gold twice and he hasn't been able to emulate that
be a
greatness.
producer. Don't be a director. Yeah.
Yeah, just be a director of photography. Like you're not a director. You know how to use a camera and all that shit. Okay, but just don't just no. Just, you know what? Just fuck off. Like he brings nothing to the table anymore. He's so dull. Like yeah, I just fucking and proof in the pudding is Army of the Dead. You have the greatness of Dawn of the Dead. Just take that, seeing as you like to derive from other projects, take that, put it into Army of the Dead, and it would have been a great film. But it was so bad.
Yeah, it could have been
Anyway,
really good. Anyway, but anyway, enough shitting on that. Let's mock the fucking movie. What you gonna give it, Ginge?
I'm gonna give it a fucking 3 out of 10 for me. I just think that the taken from other, being very derivative is fine, but nothing works in it. The only reason I'm giving it a 3 is because the cast did well with what they were given. A lot of the visuals were pretty good. Sometimes they were a bit ropey, and I did like the villain in it. I did. He wasn't too pantomime, which is what you often get. Like say with the soldiers who are very pantomime, the main bad, and the fact that he gets resurrected at the end is cool as well.
Bit Darth Vader-y, don't you think?
Yeah,
A bit,
very, very Darth Vader. But I
yeah.
kind of like that because I was like, we're not done, and it's just cool to see
With
how
his
they bring.
fucking teeth knocked out and shit, man. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
But what
yeah,
is he? But he's like a robot, isn't he? Like,
pretty
like,
much. It looks like he's
a
just
bit
a fucking like.
Matrixy, all the
Yeah,
pipes and shit like that. And
yeah. So
interesting to
yeah,
see where they
three,
go with.
three out of 10. 3 out of 10 for me. I was bored out of my head watching this.
You see, if
Xander?
I had no, I see, I think my opinion would have been different if I didn't think I was going into watching a shit film in the first place. And because sometimes you think to yourself, this one's going to be really shit, but I'm going to watch it, and then your expectations change because it's not the shit as you think. And that is how I feel with this particular movie. I don't think the film is great, very cliched, pulling lots of ideas from lots of stuff we've already seen before. But luckily, it has a decent cast of actors who are able to, and I'm talking a decent cast of actors who know how to act, who are able to pull this shit through. It almost feels like a TV film at times, like a television show.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it because my expectations were exceeded because I thought this film was gonna be really shit. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Wow, that high, eh? Oh, fair enough.
Yeah,
All right. Well, that's our review of Rebel Moon. Save yourself 2.5 hours and avoid it. If I'm being perfectly honest, there's other stuff that you could go and watch. I don't know what that is. New South Park. Go watch that. But on that, give us your thoughts in the comments section. Gary, thank you for your input in the comments as well. And thank you, Xanta, for joining me. And we will be back later tonight with our Friday podcast. Going to keep it a little bit lighthearted. Doesn't mean we won't talk politics, just the fun stuff. And on that note, bye-bye.
Bye bye.